welcome to Ramble Meadows, your one-stop shopping channel for all things RC. Today, this is kind of a video I wanted to do in a timely manner. I just got back from the flying field and I had a forced landing on my Taro quad. For those of you that followed this build, this is one of my favorites. But sadly enough, I had to do a forced landing, and believe it or not, it landed in water. I just couldn't believe it. It was coming down, only one little puddle pool in this whole flying area. It lands in that. So what we're going to do, this is totally immersed. Everything is totally not working. And we're going to see what we can revive. And next is to remove the components from the quad as best I can, and to soak the electronic parts in distilled water, and then put them in a container with this kitty litter that is silica crystals to dry it out. So that's what I'm going to do, and you'll see a little bit of the few steps as I go along, and we'll see how successful this is at the end. So let's keep watching. Okay, so I hurriedly took everything apart, and I have them in front of me, and I'm going to put it in my bath. And then once they're in the bath, I'm going to put them on the towel for a while and let them dry. And then I'm going to put them in my silica solution. This is silica cat litter, and I'm putting a bit of cloth over top so no grit from the silica gets into the product. Let's hope this is all going to work. So now I am going to rinse off. This is my video transmitter. Don't think I need the antenna. Take that off. Rinse it really well in the water. I'm going to do this for every part. This is my the Mobius. The Mobius, I took it out so I could take the battery out. I'm going to rinse that in. Now this is distilled water. Rinsing that out. I'm going to place that here and let it dry. And I'm going to do that for every part. I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to let it dry for 2 hours or so, and then I'm going to pop it in the silica. I'm going to seal it up, and I'm going to let it go for a couple of days. So the next time you see me, I will be taking it out of the silica and seeing what works and what doesn't work. Okay, I'm back. This is a continuation of our recovery from our water-damaged, waterlogged quad that landed in the swamp up to its totally submersed underwater for about an hour. I recovered it. And then what we did is, in the first part of the video, I showed you how I use silica and tried to dry out all the components. I had opened up the cases and removed all the batteries. The silica didn't work that well. It only worked on items that it touched. I'm sure it would work over the long term, such as months. So obviously the second thing I tried, not obviously, the second thing I tried was rice, which is a very popular method for drawing things out on the web. And after 3 days of being totally immersed in rice, I started taking the parts out one at a time and cleaning them off. And everything came back to life again, except the speed controller. This is a 4-in-1 speed controller that did not come back, and the battery died. In fact, it's a 4-cell battery. Only one of the cells didn't come back to life. The other 3 cells are actually perfect. It's amazing. The flight video you can see behind me is actually from the quad that was recovered. And it flies as good as it ever has. So I guess from this experience is if you're patient and if you follow the instructions, take all the batteries out. I opened up any cases that I could open up, totally immersed them in rice. This is not fancy rice. This is just long-grained white rice. And in fact, the long-grained white rice had a little bit of a powder on it that kind of got into everything, but that actually acted as a drying agent. I blew it off with a can of air, and it worked fine. So from this experience, I hope that all of you that do land in the water, don't throw your equipment out. I'm sure it's recoverable. And in this case, the only thing we lost was the speed controller, and we lost the battery. but that's not bad. That speed controller was headed for the boneyard anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how to recover your RC craft from water damage. Be patient and don't rush the process. This took a week of patience to make sure everything was dry. My cameras came back, my flight controller, that was my main concern. All of my motors worked well, no problem at all. So anyway, if you land in water, don't throw anything out. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time at Emerald Meadows. Bye-bye for now.